For many fans is still poking fingers at head coach Stephanie White for actually making the game not entertaining anymore, bro. This motion offense has to be addressed, and Stephanie White has to be held accountable because it's truly the offense that she's running, and it is not for Caitlin Clark at this point. Now, both Caitlin Clark and Stephanie White spoke to the media immediately.
What really went down behind the scenes, Caitlin Clark just dropped a brutally honest bombshell about her health. And she didn't hold back on Stephanie White either. Was it shade? Was it truth? Maybe both. Wrapped in a jump shot and delivered ice cold. This wasn't your typical press conference. This was Caitlin. And censored. Let's just say jaws hit the floor. Grab your popcorn. You won't believe this one.
At times we could have played a little bit faster, and I think that's on me, like not conceding in that. We still got to play up tempo. We still got to play fast. But I mean, I thought for the most part we did a lot of stuff that coach wanted us to do, and that wasn't why we lost.
I can't hold you, man. That kind of looked like she let that slip out, man. I don't know. But I mean, we all see it. When they play slow, it's just not a good team, man. They're not as good as we see that they could be, right? So they need to play fast, man. I think, they don't necessarily look that good when they're playing half-court ball. Maybe taking something from the Valkyries, man. The Valkyries run, all right? They be running.
She doesn't just look tired, she looks spiritually drained. Caitlin Clark is running on fumes, caffeine, and pure willpower, while the WNBA throws every obstacle her way like a warped version of American Ninja Warrior, only with worse refs and even worse coaching. Forget the hardwood, this woman's dodging landmines out there.
League needs to take care of Caitlin, not for special treatment purposes, but that's who everybody's there to see. Everybody wants to see Caitlin Clark play. And if you let other teams and other people beat the shit out of her, she's going to spend 2 weeks out injured. And your attendance is going to drop because people aren't going to get the chance to see her. And if you actually want to be paid the same as the NBA players, obviously not by actual dollar for dollar, but for revenue percentage, you need to protect her. You need her to be playing at her best and not be having the...
While she's been the poster girl for hope, growth, and ticket sales, Caitlin Clark has also become the referee's favorite chew toy, like they've mistaken her for a tackling dummy. This isn't just about missed calls anymore, it's starting to feel like some twisted science experiment. How many illegal screens and shoulder checks can one player take before she breaks down completely?
Aces defeated the Indiana Fever 89-81. And this game was disappointing for many fans, not only for the fact that it seemed like the Fever had this one in the bag, but they kind of gave it away at the end of the game, but also because it seemed like there was something off with this Fever team. They didn't have the same energy and spark that we all know and love. So many fans are asking, what is going?
And it's not a pretty sight. The whistles they've turned into wind instruments, only playing when she's the one doing something. The rulebook might as well be a choose-your-own-adventure novel written by Chaos. If someone sneezes on her, play on. But if she so much as breathes near an opponent, that's a flagrant 2 and a 5-game suspension. Make it make sense.
I have figured out the solution to the Indiana Fever's problems. Hear me out, hear me out, hear me out. This is what we got to do. We got to put Caitlin Clark off ball. We need to run a motion offense. So when the defense takes away what Caitlin Clark does best, we have other players that can still perform. So when she does have bad games, we're not completely dead in the water. I think that is the best way to move forward with this Indiana Fever team.
The physicality Caitlin Clark faces isn't just intense, it's criminal and not metaphorically, legitimately suspicious. There are muggings with less contact at this point. Someone should probably check if defenders have brass knuckles taped under their wristbands. And the league's response, crickets, or worse, passive-aggressive Instagram posts pretending everything's fine, while their brightest star gets body slammed into irrelevance. And don't even get started on Indiana emotionally draining doesn't begin to cover it. The vibes are off, the air is heavy, the locker room feels like a haunted group therapy session sponsored by Broken Dreams and Gatorade. It's like Caitlin walked into a franchise made entirely of IKEA furniture, fragile, unstable, and impossible to put together. You'd think Indiana would roll out the red carpet for a generational talent. Instead, they handed her a paper towel and pointed to a leaky faucet. She's out here trying to play 4D chess, while her teammates are stuck on hungry hippos. The offense undefined, the defense non-existent, and Stephanie White coaching like she's drawing up plays in a game of Pictionary with invisible ink.no system.no direction. Just vibes, and not the good kind.
Talk about Caitlin Clark. So she struggled once again in this game. She was 7 for 20 from the field and 1 for 10 from 3, which puts her at 1 for 17 over the past few games. And if you're a fan of Caitlin Clark, you know that this is so unlike her. She is arguably the best shooter in the WNBA, and she is having a significant cold streak over the past 2 games. But her missing shots isn't actually what bothers me. The thing that bothered me most in the game yesterday was the one shot that she passed up. Now, she had been missing a few shots, and if you guys were on my live stream, I said the thing that she needs to do is to continue shooting. Shooters shoot. The only way to break a cold streak is to continue shooting.
Every time Caitlin Clark looks to the bench, it's like staring into the void. Coach Stephanie White is on the sidelines waving her arms, like she's shouting into a broken drive-through speaker, while the game falls apart around her. 1 minute she wants speed, the next she's yelling for patience, leaving the players confused and stuck in a full-blown identity crisis. It's starting to affect Clark. Her game, once sharp and electric, now feels hesitant and off. Her passes are late, her confidence shaken, and her instincts dulled. And who could blame her? She's trying to play elite basketball while dodging elbows and searching for any sign of direction from the bench. At this rate, Caitlin doesn't need just rest, she needs a break from the madness. Because what's happening to her isn't just bad coaching, it's psychological warfare. The league that once begged for her brilliance is now breaking her down, forgetting that stars don't just shine, they need to be protected to truly thrive.
What'd you say? Wait, what? Did you just tell me that Stephanie White went on an interview tour this whole entire offseason saying exactly that? Did you just tell me Stephanie White went on an interview? So how come when Caitlin Clark has a bad game, this team looks like absolute dog shit? How come when Caitlin Clark isn't busy backpacking this team, it looks like absolute dog shit, coach? Just a question. Just a question. What we saw today, folks, I feel bad for everybody that had to sit through that. Everybody that wasted 2 hours and 25 minutes watching the Indiana Fever versus the Las Vegas Aces, I feel bad that we had to sit through that. That was a tough watch.
Caitlin Clark hasn't even hit her stride yet. This was supposed to be her breakout season. But instead, she's fighting through a Hunger Games with a water pistol and teammates who can't keep up. The fans are crying out for help, but league officials keep rewriting the rulebook like it's a Sudoku puzzle. It's almost tragic. A generational talent stuck in a never-ending Groundhog Day of disappointment and bruises, while Coach Stephanie White smirks as if she's following a secret playbook. Clark needs more than rest, she needs out of this dumpster fire before her fire turns to fatigue, and she realizes she's not leading a revolution, just surviving chaos.
Well, I think you have to look at things a little bit holistically. I think Caitlin Clark is a really hard player to officiate, much like Diana Taurasi was throughout the course of her career, for a couple of reasons. Caitlin Clark regularly gets picked up in the full court. She also gets blitzed more over the course of her career than any player in WNBA history or in that period of time. And she also creates some contact herself on the offensive end of the floor. She is very difficult to officiate because of all of the contact that's happening around her.
Caitlin Clark needs an escape plan, a parachute, maybe even a time machine, because the longer she stays in this emotional blender, the harder it'll be to recover. And this isn't just about losing games. It's about losing herself as a player. The league, which once flooded her with cameras and sponsorships, is now letting her fade into the background behind lazy post entries and pointless dribbling. She's not just a player, she's the player, the reason people are watching. Yet she's being treated like an afterthought in a broken rebuild guided by a coach who seems more interested in random experiments than actual basketball. Stephanie White is out here treating lineups like a Pinterest board, pulling Caitlin off the ball for most of the game like that's the fix. If no one's going to save her, she'll have to save herself because this environment isn't just killing her stats, it's draining her spirit. And she, the fans, and the entire sport deserve so much more.
Well, I be damned. I be damned. 7 for 20 from the field, 1 for 10 from the three-point line. And look at those turnovers, 8 turnovers. She leads the league in turnovers. But guess what? Her Clarkies are only going to be impressed, and they're going to brag about the 19 points and 10 assists. Me personally, I'm all about efficiency. I'm concerned about those last 3, them turnovers, which she leads the league in turnovers. She is shooting horrible from the field. And as far as them three-pointers, in the last 2 games, she's only made 1 three-pointer, and that's the one against the
Unless Indiana finds a backbone, a real game plan, and a coach who knows the difference between a motion offense and pure chaos, Caitlin Clark might need to start packing. Because right now, we're not witnessing the rise of a superstar, we're watching a generational talent get buried under apathy, bad whistles, and Stephanie White's tactical guessing game. She's on the court, but she's not in control. It's like she's trapped in a dystopian play where she's the star but never given a voice. Her skills are there, her movement is sharp, but that spark, that presence that once made her the center of gravity in every arena is fading. Not sidelined. Erased. Caitlin Clark isn't being developed, she's being dismantled, piece by piece, like a classic car stripped for parts in some back alley garage. And everyone's pretending it's normal, just part of the rookie process. Spoiler, it's not. It's a slow, soul-draining collapse, wrapped in a glossy WNBA logo and sold as progress.
That Indiana Fever were trying to be that team that runs you off the floor, that hustles. I felt like they were the deepest team. Like, looking at the roster, man, they actually have some players that could run the floor. And I'm just like, dang, bro, it's really crazy to see that they're not really trying to run the floor like I would expect them to. And also using Michaela Timpson. Like, that is some young pair of legs, man. You should be using Michaela Timpson to help you run the floor, play lockdown defense, hustle defense, you know, winning the 50-50 balls. You need young legs to do that.